Hey there, Snort here. I'm finally going for my rank 1. I've got the team ready. I think I've got a pretty good rotation set out. You can see I've gotten pretty close in my previous test run. It was all perfect, and then I came up like 2% short on the kill turn on turn 10. So I took one extra turn to kill it. And that's why my score is just below a rank 1 score. As you can see, there are already quite a few people, even being that close. You know, there's probably several hundred people that have already ranked 1 this one, and hopefully I will be amongst them by the end of this video. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on all the modifiers. Here's the party that I'm working with. As I mentioned in a previous video, this team was recommended by a friend of mine on the Discord, who you know, these are the units they had available at the EX levels to do a rank 1 clear, but they hadn't seen any videos or anybody doing any clears with these specific units. So I figured I'd take it upon myself to help out a friend and take on the challenge of trying to do a rank 1 clear with the following team. I think we can get it done. I've got the rotation worked out pretty well. There's definitely some room for improvement, especially in like morale fill and places like that. But yeah, I think this team should be able to get it done. Now, I will show you the gear at the end, because as we know with Clash of Wills, bad things can happen. Anything can go wrong. You know, I might not hit a damage cap, or we might not kill it in time, or, you know, depending on variance, you know, anything can happen. So we're going to go ahead and get in there, and if we successfully get everything done and get our rank 1 clear, I'll show you the gear at the end. All right, let's get in there. So you see we've got a lot of morale gen here at the beginning. I've got a lot of that morale gear, like the Empress's Rod, Treasured Memorial Ring, all of that stuff. You know, I tried to load up on as much morale gear as I could, because we need to build up morale very, very quickly, because I do my damage cap burst on turn 4. I like to do my damage cap early, so I know whether or not I've actually hit the damage cap, so I'm not waiting till turn 10. I like to know as soon as possible. So we're going to do it on turn 4. Hopefully we hit it, and then we can finish out the fight. All right, so we'll start with Tsukiko. She's going to do Blessed Omamori, Maiden's Consecration Fire to imbue everybody, and then Purging Mandala Fire. Okay, that'll do the Fire Imperil Field. Beach Blaster Olive, we're going to go and do her LB. We're going to treat Olive like an EX plus 2 Olive here, and so if your Olive is only EX2, that is fine. This strategy will work with an EX plus 2 Olive, all right? Because we're gonna do her normal limit burst 2 turns in a row to get her Magnus charged up, and then we're gonna do our big burst on turn 4. All right. Sylvie's just gonna do some morale filling with Elemental Petals, Vines, and Burgeoning Defense. All right. Chow is going to we'll go ahead and set up his better cover. Focused Inspiration, and then True Guardian's Blessing to get rid of the breaks. All right, 2B is just going to do some morale fill here with these skills. Chizuru will do Strong Samurai Spirit, which does morale fill. Breezy Barrier to get rid of the Imperils on Chow. And then Focus Strength for the 5-stack Mirage for the party. That's just to avoid those 5 uncoverable AoE physical attacks that the boss is going to do here on turn 1. Yep, Rabbit Fury. Yep, so that's the 5 uncoverable AoE physicals. They're not very strong. They're only like a 1 times modifier. So with a pretty strong attack and mag break, your team can potentially survive it if you've got the mitigations up. And so you may not even need the Mirage, but having Mirage definitely helps, especially later on in the fight when the boss does attack and mag buffs. You know, even a 1 times modifier attack on the whole team can definitely hurt. All right. All right, so now Sylvie's going to shift. So we're actually going to start doing some damage. We're going to do some chip damage on this turn. All right, because, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Because we need to make sure that we get the boss low enough that when we do our burst on turn 4, we make sure we hit the 50% threshold. All right, so we'll do Poach Demon on 2B, and then just some morale fill. All right, Olive, so Chow is going to fill up Olive All right, you want to make sure that you do that first, because if you need a little bit more to fill up Olive, then Sylvie can take care of that. So Holy Guardian's Flame on Olive, True Guardian's Blessing again, and then encouraging Fire to do some fire and dark resist buffs on himself. All right, so you see we're just shy on Olive. All right, so I'm going to come back to Sylvie. We'll do the Poach Demon again on 2B. We're going to do a Clever Paladin Strike, and then a Cheerful Paladin Strike for some morale. Okay. Tsukiko's going to go ahead and shift. All right. And we'll do Quicksand and Double Firestorm to go ahead and get her Magnus charged up. All right. So now Olive can do her LB again. 2B is going to do her Brave Shift LB. Chizuru is going to do Beast Pulverizer for the killers. All right, and we're actually going to cap Olive's LB because, like I said, we want to do a little bit of damage here. I'm hoping we do like 10 to 12% damage to the boss on this turn. We'll see how we do. All right, I'm going to start with Olive and then do Tsukiko for the breaks, and then do Chizuru and 2B. All right. There you go. Yep, that's a good spot to be. 90%. I'm usually at like 90 or 89% on this turn, so that's pretty good. All right, Chao shouldn't take any damage on this one because we've gotten rid of the Imperils. Yep, and he's got at least enough resistance to take care of that. Okay. Sylvie is going to go ahead and do her LB to prepare for next turn. Doggo is going to do, we're just going to do some morale fill, just filling up the morale. All right, and 2B is going to do Avoid. That's for the Mirage stacks because it's going to do a single very, very strong AoE physical attack, and we need to Mirage that. All right, and then we'll do a True Charge and Supreme Support because that fills up her LB gauge and does some morale fill for us. Tsukiko is going to store. So she's got the Cherished Gift. That's from the Ayaka Step Up banner, the special vision card. You saw me pull for that. So hopefully you have that. If you don't, you can use Magic Boost Plus, which is Dark Rain's TMR. That also does a magic store for your Tsukiko. All right, Olive is going to go ahead and set up for a big burst next turn. So we'll do Flaming Melons, Gunner Guardian, Mammals, Brilliant Splash, and Fire Cannon Fire to get ready. All right, Chizuru is going to use Tyvis's Spirit. And I believe that's, yep, I believe that's what we want to do. There you go, right at 190, that's about where you want it. I could have done some more, I probably could have done some more fine tuning and optimizing to get more morale on this turn. You know, if you're at 200, that's obviously going to make it much safer for you to hit the damage cap. But I found with this team, I can pretty consistently hit the damage cap with 190% morale on turn 4. All right, so Sylvie is once again going to do Poach Demon, but we're going to do it on Olive this time. All right, we want Olive to get it because Olive gets a 90% spirit break, and she's also just a really strong unit. So she's going to get the Demon Killer on this one. And then we will do double Cheerful Paladin, I believe. No, we need to have Chao's LB filled up. So we'll do Poach Demon on Olive, and we'll do a double Clever because I want to make sure Chao's LB is ready. All right, and then we're just dropping LB bombs here. All right, and we're just hoping, we're hoping for the best that we get a 2.5 bill or higher. My highest has been like 2.7 something. Okay. So we'll do Olive, then followed by 2B and Chizuru, and then Tsukiko, because we want Tsukiko obviously to take advantage of the 90% spirit break as well. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll do Chow's LB at the end there. Okay. Okay, that looked pretty good. Hopefully that hits the damage cap for us. Chow will go ahead and do his LB. There you go, 2.59, nice. Yeah, 2.6 has been about my average with this team. Like I said, if your team's struggling a little bit, then just, you know, you can do a little bit more on the morale fill, and that should help you out. All right. So now we're just kind of like in lockdown mode. We're not actually going to do too much damage because anything below 50%, the boss is going to start healing, and it heals 10% per turn while it's below 50%. So the idea is you want to try and get it as close to 50% without actually hitting 50%. And so we'll do a little bit of damage on this turn. We'll actually push it below 50%, but I'm hoping to push it down to like 40, you know, like somewhere between 41 and 45% on this turn. That way it heals up to somewhere between 51 and 55. And that's sort of the idea here. All right, we are going to use dedicated samurai slash to make sure that her LB is filled, because we're going to need that when we come back. All right, and Olive will go ahead and do a dual summer shot. All right, and Tsukiko, we're actually going to come back with Tsukiko. We're going to do a prayer of purification, prayer of protection for morale fill. All right, we're going to put re-raise on Chow. We'll do his cover again, and we'll do True Guardian's Blessing for some morale fill. All right, Sylvie's just going to come back. And yeah, we're just morale filling here. Okay, we'll go ahead and do some buffs. There we go. We're all buffed up, ready to go. Okay. All right, 46, that's not bad. So he'll heal up to 56. We'll actually have Chizuru do a bit more chaining on next turn, and hopefully get that a little bit closer to 50 without actually hitting 50. All right, so yeah, Chizuru is going to do dedicated samurai slash because it does some morale fill. I think that's the one that does morale fill, right? Let me just make sure. Yep, this is the one that does the morale fill. Perfect. All right, and Olive is, yeah, she's just going to do morale fill. So we're just filling up morale at this point. 2B is actually going to do, she's going to shift, and I gave her 10,000 needles in the shift form. Okay. We do have Sylvie's Paladin's Defense, but I'm holding on to that. I'd like to keep that on hand for potentially a later turn. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to let the boss snort us on turn 7 and come back and do 2 big bursts on turns 9 and 10. Okay. Let's see. What is she doing here? I think we're just doing morale fill, right? Morale fill and LB fill. I think everyone's probably pretty full on their LBs, aren't they? We'll make sure Chow is filled up. Yeah, we'll definitely want to make sure Chow's got a full LB. Tsukiko is going to do her Blessed Omamori, Maiden's Consecration Fire, and Prayer of Purification, again, just for some morale fill. And you know, there are a lot of ways to take care of this, because the problem here, the reason why we're just waiting around is because the boss does a defense and spirit buff that makes it very hard to do like significant damage unless you've got a really strong team. And so we're just going to wait for those to expire. You could bring Kaito, and Kaito could, you know, reduce the turn count on those buffs and allow you to start doing good damage much sooner. And that's a really good strategy. But like I said, I'm doing this team for a friend and using the units that they have to do this rank 1. All right. So Chow, we will just we'll just re-up some re-raise on himself and on Papada, and then we'll do focused inspiration. Actually, I think I'm going to save that focused inspiration because he's almost certainly going to die on this turn. So let's save that. Just make sure he's got re-raise on himself, on Sylvie, and then we'll do True Guardian's Blessing. All right. So he's pretty well buffed because of the buffs. We still have the buffs from the morale bar. So he'll probably still die though, but that's all right. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so let's make sure we are all looking good. Yep, I think we are all looking good here. Okay, we'll go ahead and give Attack and Mag buff, which is 0, and hopefully she'll do like, you know, 5% here. All right, that's fine. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do Leaping Love. We're going to go ahead and set up the LB buff for turn 9, all right, because Olive and 2B will do their LBs, and then we will, and then we'll do another LB with them on turn 10 to hopefully finish the fight. So what we're going to do here, and 2B is also going to go ahead and do her her Brave Shifted LB. Again, hopefully not doing too much damage. We're not going to chain it with anything, so it shouldn't do too much damage. But the buff lasts for 3 turns, so when we come back on turn 9, it should still be active. Okay, so that we can do a big burst on there. Same with Sylvie's LB. Okay, and then we're going to have Chow buff or refill her LB a bit with Guardian's Holy Flame. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do her LB first. Again, I don't want to do too much damage here, and so yeah, we're just going to kind of leave that alone. What we can do, I don't think it's going to tag chain anymore, is it? Okay, I can never remember. All right, so we'll go ahead and do her LB. All right, we'll go ahead and do the Beast Pulverizer. Oh crap, it does chain. Whew, luckily it didn't do too much, all right. Olive is going to go ahead and do all these setup skills and end with Fire Cannon Fire, and that mag store should last until she gets back, all right. Tsukiko is gonna go ahead and set up with her Box's Karma. All right, and like I said, we'll go ahead and fill up 2B here. We'll do Focused Inspiration. Nope, that's not what I want. Focused Inspiration and Encouraging Fire. All right, and we should be good to go. so there he's going to snort us. We'll be gone for a couple turns. We'll come back on turn 9, and there we go. Back on turn 9. All right, we should still have all of our buffs and everything in place. Just double checking. Yep, boost LB damage, boost LB effects. Yep, good. All right, so we are good to go. We just need to shift. All right, Sylvie is going to do Paladin's Defense. All right, Poach Demon on Olive again. Clever Paladin Strike, and this should fill up 2B. All right, 2B is good. Chizuru will shift. All right, Tsukiko will do Blazing Karmic, and Chow is just going to make sure that nobody dies. Most importantly himself, and Sylvie, and then Guard Dog. Yep. Okay. So, yeah, just like our other burst turn. All right, Olive, 2B, Chizuru, followed by Tsukiko. All right, and yeah, hopefully we do a nice big burst here. Okay. Nice, nice. That's a really solid burst right there. That's what I like to see. Okay. So yep, as long as nobody dies, we should have this. We should have this in the bag here. All right, this should be a rank 1. Okay, nobody died. We're good to go. All right, so on this one, we are going to, I've got your back on 2B so that she can do her LB again. And then we will do a, let's see. I guess we just do a double Clever Paladin Strike. All right, I don't think that'll be enough to fill up Chizuru. Actually, let me see. I believe if we shift, yeah, we can use this one to fill up everybody, and that should do it. Yep, so that'll fill up Chizuru, and then Chizuru can do it as well. All right, so we should all be good to go in that case. Olive will just set up and do her dual Summer Shot. All right, and we should be good to go. All right, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I forgot she's got to do all of like her, forgot all of these. Gunner, Mammals, Fire Cannon Fire, and dual Summer Shot. All right, and Tsukiko will just do triple Firestorm. All right, we'll go ahead and do the 400% attack and mag buff. And we should be good to go. All right, we'll start Olive, obviously, because she has a long windup. And then we'll do Chizuru, 2B, and Tsukiko, just like we've done before. Boom, there you go. All right, that's how you get a rank 1 with this team against the Hei'ir of unknown origin. Whew. Thank you guys for joining me on this rank 1 adventure. That was very exciting. I've done a few test runs where I came up short on that last turn, so I'm very, very glad that I finally got this one done. I think I finally figured everything out there. All right, so there we go. There's our perfect score, rank 1. Let's see who the winners are. All right, we've got 2B. Wow, 2B definitely bringing it on this one. Great job there, 2B. Beach Blaster Olive also doing very, very well. Chizuru really, really stepping it up. I like to see that. And Tsukiko, yeah, Tsukiko definitely bringing it up. I mean, we couldn't have done it without her. She's our fire support unit. So that's really, really great. All right, let's see. So let's go take a look at the gear. I'm just gonna dismiss these rewards. I've already got what I want, basically. All right, so there we go. Rank 1, sweet. All right, let's take a look at the gear. All right, so Sylvie is, you know, she's just your basic all-around great support, brings the demon killers. I've gave her Chocobo Feather. That's really important because it gives her a form of guts. Blizzard Orb for the counters. Dancer's Diadem just for the, that's strictly for the 100% provoke. You want her to provoke the physical attacks so that Chow doesn't, you know, eat dirt too often. So that's what she's there for. Otherwise, you know, she doesn't really need a whole lot, honestly. You know, if you want her to generate more morale, you see I've got her card on her. You can dual wield her, and that will cause her her morale filling ability, which is, oh, not that one. The morale fill is this one. It will cause this ability to proc twice, so that'll give you a total of 3.5% morale every turn, or 350 as they like to phrase it. So during this battle, she was only proccing, what was it, 125 every turn. You could do 350 every turn potentially if you had Sylvie dual wielding. You'd need to do that in both forms, of course. And so that's one way you could generate a bit more morale there at the beginning to try and hit 200% early on. And yeah, sorry, I think that's really all she needs. She's really, pretty easy to gear on this one. You don't need anything too crazy. Chow is a little bit more difficult to build, just because the resists are a little crappy, but you don't have to go all out and crazy on the fire and dark resist with this one. I kind of focused more on fire on this one, but it's really fine. The double blizzard orbs are important just for generating morale early on. Abyss's staff is really great. That's the item world staff that comes with 30% across the board. Elemental resist. Kryla's Veil also has 30% across the board. Flame Lord's armor is nice because it does 80% fire. Celestial Buckler that's obviously his TMR, which does 40% fire and dark. Each of the blizzard orbs does 30% fire, which is nice. And then Diabolus Energy, Malefic Heart, Cool Beauty, Warrior from Another World. So you can see I kind of I probably went crazy on the fire. I could have given them a little bit more dark resist. And yeah, so now these are the resists without the 100% bonus mods activated. So imagine these resists but less, 100 less, and you'd have something pretty close to it. If your resists aren't that high, Chow can still manage it. If you keep re-raise on them and you have Sylvie proccing her blizzard orbs, it's really not a problem if your resists aren't this high. All right, so don't stress too much about it. In his Brave Shift form, I didn't do anything. I could have put something. I've given him Sylvie's Vision card again for the morale generation. I could have given him some more stuff in his Brave Shift form to help with like morale and stuff, but really I only used his Brave Shift at the very end there to fill up people's LBs, and that's all I really needed it for. So I didn't build him at all in his Brave Shift form. If you want to use it for something, go for it. I will say that probably an objectively better tank to use in this one is Cecil, because Cecil is much stronger as a magic tank, and if you start him in his normal form, he grants a 100% LB damage buff field to the party, and that will really help this team, because this team relies very heavily on limit burst damage with 2B, Chizuru, and Olive all relying on their limit bursts. Having that field from Cecil would be really helpful on this one. So if you don't have Chow, consider using Cecil in place of Chow. It's a really great replacement on this team. 2B, so my 2B is definitely like stacked to the max, stacked to the gills here. Got a lot of gear. So, she's EX3. I know that might be a sticking point for some people. I think an EX2 could still do it as long as you have all the gear. If you have her own TMR and you have a really good vision card and you're able to get all the killers maxed, I think she could still potentially do it. But this is the gear that I use and that I needed in order to get this one done. If you're able to generate more morale for the burst turn on turn 4, you can probably get away with like an EX2 2B that's a little bit weaker, and I think that would be fine. She is maxed on killers, 300 demon and beast, 300 LB damage, In her brave shift form, she is geared for damage in her brave shift form because we do need to do a little bit of damage on that turn 2, that little chip damage to make sure that we push the threshold. So definitely don't skimp on the brave shift form. I did give her 10,000 needles. I gave her Tyvus' Spirit, but turns out I didn't actually need it, so it did not end up using it. That was in a previous strategy that I was trying, but don't actually need Tyvus' Spirit on her at all. All right. Tsukiko in her normal form, she's got the Empress's Rod and the Treasured Memorial Ring for that turn 1 morale fill, so make sure you have those to get that morale up nice and quick. Other than that, she doesn't need anything in her normal form. You can ignore it. In her brave shift form, however, you know, just gave her as much mag gear as I could and as much evocation gear as I could possibly give her. So that she is maxed out on all that. 300% Esper damage, 300% Evo. You don't have to worry about LB damage because she's not using her LB. And you don't have to worry about killers, obviously. Like I mentioned, she does have the special step-up vision card from Ayaka that does that mag store, right? So that was pretty important for Tsukiko. And it definitely makes the difference between hitting the damage cap and not hitting it, I think. So it's pretty important. Like I said, if you don't have it, give her Magic Boost Plus. You know, you can give her Magic Boost Plus in her normal form, and then you shift on the burst turn and go ahead and burst. Yep. All right, that's Tsukiko. Let's do Olive. So Olive, I gave Olive everything. Like, I really enjoy Olive, and I think she's a really great unit. And since this team doesn't have, you know, this team only has an 85% defense break, but Olive has a 90% spirit break. So since spirit is going to be a little bit weaker on this boss, I went sort of all in on my Olive. You might find that spreading the gear around to some of the other units is a bit better. Maybe you want to put some of this gear on your 2B. If you end up bringing Kaito on the team or something like that, then you definitely want to spread the gear out a little bit better, but I'm putting a lot of emphasis on Olive for this one. So she got all my best cow gear. And then, yeah, just try to get her as much killers as I could. She's wearing her own vision card. If you've got a better vision card, go for it. She's not quite maxed on Demon. She's maxed on Beast, but not on Demon. Yep, but maxed on LB damage. And that's okay. We still got it done. So if you can work out, you know, if you can work it out better, like maybe if you had Dark Rain's vision card to go in here, you could swap out this LB damage materia here for some more killers or something like that. So there's definitely room for improvement there. All right. With Chizuru, she is geared for damage in both forms because we need it. And so, you know, here she is with the best gear. She's EX3, so I don't need to worry about chain cap boost or anything like that. Tyvus' Spirit for when she shifts into her Brave Shift form. And then just making sure she's got the killers. I gave her Wilk's vision card, again, for that morale generation. If you don't have Wilk's card, it's not a big deal. You can also give her like Esther's card. That's nice because it comes with Demon Killer. It's a high attack card. It's really, really great. Works very, very well on Chizuru. If you don't, just give her own card, and it will probably still work out just fine. All right. She is maxed on killers, I think, in this form. Yep, 300 to both. Very good. And then in her Brave Shift form, pretty similar, just we drop the Tyvus' Spirit and put in a Lion's Heart for the LB damage boost, and she should be capped there. Yep, capped on everything in there. Good to go. All right, and yeah, that's how this team got it done. There's definitely room for improvement, I think. You can do some swaps in here probably. I think you could probably put Roberta in Tsukiko's place and still make it work. I think you could honestly put Kaito in Sylvie's place and make this work. You might even be easier with Kaito in place of Sylvie because Kaito can, like I said, he can reduce the duration of those defense and spirit buffs once you pass the 50% threshold, and that'll help you clear the fight much, much faster. So consider doing Kaito, because Kaito can also do a 200% demon killer buff to the whole party, as opposed to just a 250 to one unit and a 150 to the rest of the party, right? So Sylvie is actually very swappable here with Kaito. Chao is very swappable with Cecil. Tsukiko swappable with Roberta. And you know, The rest are just DPS. So like, you know, bring your strongest DPS units and do what you can do. If you want to go ice, if you have like an Ayaka, you know, put Ayaka in Tsukiko's place and go ice element. You know, there are a lot of really great ways. I've seen a lot of really cool clears out there. This boss is allowing for a lot of really unique clears out there, and this was just, you know, my take on it. There are lots of great ones out there. Go look out for, of course, like Senzar's channels. Of course, he's got a bunch. Check out Resnaught's channel, Gert's channel. You know, they've all got really cool clears out there, so definitely check those out. Thank you guys so much for following me, and thank you for being a part of my rank 1 journey here. Stay tuned. You know, I'll do some more vids. I still haven't done Black Dragon. Actually, I need to go and do the Black Dragon trial. I haven't done that one yet, so I'll probably try and get that one done tomorrow. But if you guys have any teams or any team comps you want me to try on this particular Clash of Wills, please just let me know in the comments below. I am happy to help out. Please join the Discord if you want to come and talk to me about teams, or I've got a lot of great, really intelligent people in my Discord that are there to help if you guys are struggling with this one at all. So thank you guys so much for following me, and I will see you on the other side.